smack.
Jojo. Hey, wait, is your name based off of Come Get Some from Duke Nukem?
It was.
Wait, nobody brought that up during the recording?
No. I didn't get the reference.
I actually
Well,
didn't
it's still recording. It's still recording, so you could snip it out. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Couch Crows. Odd show today. You know, a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's me, Origami. I'm your temporary host right now. Crow is a little bit incapacitated. If you're there, Crow, say hi.
Hello, everyone. I am dealing with a couple little medical issues, nothing serious. But I will be here kind of moderating, and I will try to be active with everybody today.
No, yeah, just let him do his thing. He's impaired right now. Dean is also here with us. He's our new co-host. Well, addition to co-host. This is one of his first times being on here. So take it away, Dean.
Yeah, alrighty. So yeah, I'm Dean. I am the co-host of the DNA Crows channel. New host to the podcast that is on my channel. Oddly enough, and we have a wonderful guest from across the pond. ComeGeekSome. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you for your introduction. Again, I'm sorry for all this. You can blame me. It's just because I'm a bit shit, that's all. And but yeah, say ComeGeekSome. You can find me on Twitter at ComeGeekSome1, and I'm also on YouTube where my videos are, and this is where the video will be going out at obviously youtube.com/ComeGeekSome. Thanks for having me on here, guys.
Yeah, of course.
No, yeah, for sure. You know, first and foremost, thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking the time, and thanks for your patience throughout all this, man.
No, I say it's my fault again, but no problem.
It's not your fault. Stop saying that.
I'm British. This is what we do.
I guarantee somehow
man,
it was
that's what
Crow's
Canadians
fault.
do.
Crow's fault.
Hey,
Are we sure this guy's British? He's got
What?
British people confused with Canadians.
Hey, we apologize a shit ton over here.
Oh yeah, for sure. I guess we'll just start things off. Basically, like just briefing everybody on ComeGeekSome and his channel.
Yeah,
everyone
sure.
pretty much discovered ComeGeekSome through the Vic situation. That's how I discovered you. Your channel is basically taking the important subjects going on within this whole situation and the controversy, and summing it up and giving your own opinion on top of it. I know we said this before, but it reminds me of the style of deep humor. Good friend of mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great guy. Love his stuff.
Yeah,
love his Twitter. I'm always reading it, and I just think it's just downright great. Everything about what he's doing is just fantastic, and he's getting the views as well, which is great.
No,
yeah, and if Deep Humor is watching this, hey Deep, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan. I watch your videos. Yeah. And that's like an inside joke with me and Deep Humor. But
I just have a quick question, a little bit related, a little bit unrelated. But did Deep Humor ever actually get back to you about that Dauntless thing?
Oh yeah, no, I played. Yeah. He finally got back. He finally got back from his phone call.
Big shout out to Deep. But anyway, so we brushed over this before, but if you wouldn't mind, Dan.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Vic before the incidents, and what made you decide to get involved with the Stanley Vic?
Right. I wasn't really a fan of Vic before. I knew who he was. Like obviously we said, through Dragon Ball and a few other things. But I wasn't really a huge fan. But I've been a fan of manga and anime, comics, all the films, everything since I was a young kid because of my uncle. I say my uncle lives in Japan at the moment, and he's in the business. He's a comic artist. He's done everything from Marvel, DC, down to Disney. He's done it all. And he was involved in Comicsgate, sadly, and all this was going on and a few things here and there. But again, it was always just a deep thread of, just a steady feed of comics all the time. And I only got it started in the Vic Mignogna situation because this guy just wasn't having a fair shout on Twitter. Social media in general. Everyone was just hounding him. Everyone was just saying a bad thing about him. No one was saying anything nice. And it was just like, right, so people have to stick up for this guy. So again, I got the channel out there, made one up just to talk about this really, and obviously it's taken off quite a bit, and I'm really happy about that. I didn't think it would take off this much, but like you said yourself, a lot of people, they like that. Obviously, well, on some of my videos, not all my videos, but I actually give like both sides of the story. Which again, if you just follow Kick Vic, all they say is just Vic's bad, Monica great. That's the sort of thing they're doing, and it's just like, right, okay, well, again, because it's going to sound a bit thingy, but I have given Monica props in the past for certain things she's come out with, and it's like, right, okay, she said the right thing here, but she's still a bitch, that sort of thing. That sort of thing, like, it's like she said the good thing here, but. Again, we can't really take their word for it now. So, but yeah, with Vic, that's how I really got involved in the whole Vic Mignogna situation. It's just that no one was giving this guy a break. And, well, we've all seen how this has gone recently with the depositions and how he's actually performed really, really well in them compared to all the other people, and how they're acting really shifty in their seats, literally like a school kid being told off. And Vic's just there. He's just like, yep, okay, he's respectable. Yes, sir, no, sir. And he's straight to the point. He's like, this has happened, and that. And that's it.
No, yeah. I think we can all agree that Vic, his demeanor through all this has just been nothing but outstanding. So.
Oh, it was perfect. Literally. Direct eye contact as well with everyone. He was like, whoever was talking, he was looking directly at him. He wasn't doing what Ron was doing, with Monica looking away while answering. Because that's always a big sign of when people, they know they're in the wrong.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So I just want your quick opinion on the depositions of Ron and particularly Monica, because her body language was all over the place.
Oh, God, yeah, 100% it was. It was... With Ron, I think everyone can... we all know what Ron was like. He was literally like a little giddy school kid. Every time someone said something, he was like chuckling. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you laughing at that? It's like, no, you're meant to do this. This is what you're saying. You're like, oh, yes, I cannot fathom that. I cannot recall. It's like, dude, there's 369 tweets of yours in front of you. I don't recall I sent these. And I'm just there like, oh my God, if I was in the room, I'd probably punch him.
As far as like why he's laughing and everything, going back to the body language.
Yeah.
When you're nervous,
oh God, 100%.
I do the same thing. Like I start to choke up and I start to laugh. I do that all the time, and I got the feeling that's what was happening. He was just really nervous, and he was like laughing and trying to, make light of the situation to make himself feel better.
Yeah. Well, say it's I actually said that something along those lines on my videos regarding him, but the way I've looked at it is I've said obviously he's like that sort of thing, mostly because he's been so. Well, in brackets, macho online. It's like, oh, we can't wait to go to court. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They get to court, and he's like, I don't recall sending that.
What I really appreciated about all that is there's not going to be a lawsuit.
No.
They just kept saying there's not going to be a lawsuit, and then all of a sudden, well, we can't wait to go to court. And then all of a sudden, it's, I don't recall any of this.
Oh, no, don't forget. We can't wait for all of this to be out in the open. We want everybody
That's
to
the
hear.
key one there, yeah. Well, say, when Jeff Stein, I think, is I follow him on Twitter, and he posted literally 8-second clip of Ron going, I don't know. When he said no, when Ty said, can you please tell me the names of those people again? And he looked at him and went, no. I was out in public, and I just kind of looked, and like, I was out with my father, we were at the DIY shop, and I looked at my dad and went, this guy's a fucking moron. And he's like, what? And obviously my dad, he's like, what's going on? I told him, and I said, oh, he's in court, is he? I went, yeah. He went, oh, what, fucking dingleberry. And I was just blown away that he actually, to be honest with you, give him credit, he had the balls to say no to him in court.
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay, hats off, tip of the hat there, mate. But then obviously we saw what he was like when Ty said we can go and get a judge.
No, it's great. Also, welcome everybody to the podcast. BPM Broly. BPM Broly's here.
Speaking
Hello,
of,
how's it going?
What's up,
What's
everyone?
up, Broly?
Hey, how's it going?
How's things?
Good.
Nice to finally talk to you.
Likewise, I've been watching the slow de-evolution of Kick Vic on Twitter.
Yeah. So
it's just gone great.
BP, I'm about to ask the next question. Are you ready for this shit?
All right.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Geek. I know we've talked about this as well, but can you tell me your thoughts about what happened to ComeGeekSome UK?
Right. So yeah, obviously I was only following a little bit of it, and SG Sammy, he's one of the people who posted about trying to get a Vic over there. And I was like, that'd be cool, get Vic over here. A lot of people were like, yeah, if Vic goes to there, I'll go with it. And, they had so much positive feedback. Then all of a sudden, there was nothing. And obviously, SG Sammy posted, well, they cancelled it. They've stopped. But again, as we were talking about it earlier, it could be because of obviously all this Kick Vic thing that's going on. A lot of people got involved. But again, the venue they were going to host in is not exactly a huge place. It's more like over here in the UK, we have leisure centres, like a gym workout place. And I think it was like a half a size of one of those. So it wasn't going to be a huge, like in London or Cardiff when they have the Comic Cons, which has got like 3 or 4 floors, Yeah. It was just a little tiny place over here in the UK.
Yeah. BP, what do you think about that? The whole incident with the ComeGeekSome UK. I remember people were reaching out about it when it was going on, that they wanted us to help get Vic over there.
I obviously don't know what happened exactly, but I could take some guesses. I would just assume that if people can't share a freaking massive building like they could have in the US, then they can't share a teeny space, like ComeGeekSome's describing.
Yeah, exactly. So that there's a lot of factors than just the Kick Vic and the Vic situation that may have occurred.
It's the biggest issue. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying again. There's another Dragon Ball convention that I guess has been going on for a longer period of time. That's in the area with them. So I really feel like they just didn't think it was worth the struggle to try to get all this stuff together, deal with all this heat. They're a smaller convention. I think it's just too much for them to bite off.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a convention that just had its second run. This is their second year, and they had this big drama spill out because of all this. So I can understand why they would want to sit back, relax, and
to be honest, I wouldn't like to put on an event with all this going on, and obviously people getting in touch on Twitter and emails and whatnot, and it's just not the kind of hassle you want, especially for a small kind of convention in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the affidavits now, and more Dragon Ball people are getting involved. So more recently, Kara Edwards, it's just like they won't stop until the entire cast has come out and ruined my childhood.
And gone against him, yeah.
Because it's Funimation, and it's like when they try to say they're independent contracts. That's bullshit. And Sabbath's got so much influence over at Funimation. You know where he sits on all this shit, and you used to have voice actor after voice actor coming out that's part of that Funimation crew.
I'm just waiting for Chris Sabat to say he did it to me too.
Yes, I've actually been waiting on something along those lines. Like, God, he was drunk one night or whatever, and I thought he was a good Christian boy, but he came on to me. It's been at the back of my mind for ages, again, because it wouldn't put it past them to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's it.
He grabbed me by my hair. Chris Sabat, you don't have hair.
Yes, I do, down there.
He grabbed my client Christopher Sabat by the beard, and he pulled him in close and whispered something sexually in his ear. That's pretty rough. Oh. That guy, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
That guy, man. That guy. Flashbacks.
Oh. Well, they're rebooting Saw, so we got a good candidate. That's true. Yeah.
They're rebooting Saw?
Yes, Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson are in it.
Yes.
There's 7 movies, right?
Not anymore.
It's 8 at the moment.
Yeah.
8.
And this is going to be number 9.
This is kind of a next question kind of thing, but it's more of an opinion. I just kind of want your take on this, Dan.
Yeah.
So Mars Girl came out with a statement on Twitter. Basically, just to sum it up, it's like non-Americans are kind of in this thing. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Wait,
I think it's...
I'm sorry.
Sure, she said something about that it's mostly children and non-Americans who are getting involved in this whole Vic Mignogna situation. And to be honest with you, when I first read that, I did laugh.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, right, okay, fair enough, But again, Vic, as they want to keep putting it, Vic is a public person.
Yeah.
And obviously, Vic likes to be there, and Vic is a public person worldwide. A lot of people know Vic now, obviously, because of this entire situation. But with her saying that, at first I laughed, but then I was thinking, that's actually very small-minded of her, because, again, anime is huge here in the UK.
Yeah.
And it just seems that with her saying that, it's almost like she's trying to say to people, see, Americans don't really believe him. It was that sort, we've got kids and non-Americans. It's like, well, come on. There's tons of people who are supporting this guy. He's raised over $200,000, That GoFundMe is incredible.
Yeah.
And,
So it's like over 230 right now, right?
Wow, yeah, something like that, I believe. Last time I checked, there was about 215.
Well, so to touch up on the Arms Girl statement, what's most mind-blowing about it is this guy's a voice actor for animes that is broadcasted to more countries than just America.
Yes.
And to think that you have to be an American to have an opinion on it is just wildly absurd.
Oh, it's 100% absurd, that is, again, but we all know how she acts and how she thinks.
Well, I mean, even then, it's not even a true statement. There are four American adults. I'm sorry, 4 Americans, 3.5 adults, right here, right now, excluding you, ComeGeekSome. Okay.
Excluding you, ComeGeekSome. I don't. I would just.
You get what I mean, right? It's
yeah, it is.
It's the way that she sees other people, right?
The way she sees things. Again, it's all you gotta do is just follow. Well, I actually follow her on one of my other Twitter accounts. I currently got like 4, and I'm following her, and it's quite interesting. And it's just like, right, okay, snip a video, snip a video. So if she, know me, she probably will be watching or listening to this. But well, fucking hell, it's 4 of them. I got to weasel them out now. Got to find out which one. But yeah, it is. Some of the things she just says on it, it's just, again, it's just take it with a pinch of salt, and it's just a bit like, right, okay, no one's taking you seriously anymore. I think what kind of spilt it for her on this cold kick Vic situation is when she done her GoFundMe page for her lawyers or to hold a law firm.
Speaking of which, I've been following that, and I found an update actually on June 23rd that I hadn't seen anybody talk about. And in it, she says, I have been in talks with many lawyers on many subjects, and it is overwhelming. Now,
yeah, I saw that one. I think she spent like $25 for 30 minutes or something like that. And I was thinking, what the fuck are you talking to? That only charges that if they're a law firm.
I have no idea, but I
Legal
imagine...
Shield. I'm telling you guys, it's a legit app.
Oh.
Yeah.
I imagine
I'm not
while
kidding.
Twitter's involved in either Arms Girl or the Pridemore stuff. Like, that whole... She went and retained a lawyer, supposedly, and she came back and was like, they're telling me that I should just fight with my truth unrelentingly.
Yeah.
And then she got quiet. Obviously, nothing legal's happened with Flash or anybody like that.
Yeah,
And
nothing
then
goes
Law
to
Twitter
Comic-Con.
shows
what I
up.
was going to do.
Law Twitter
Well-
shows up.
What I really like is, she retained that money, didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden is at Comic-Con.
Yes.
And it's like, well, so that money that you needed because you're broke and you need a lawyer is pretty sure that's going to your Comic-Con ticket, which is outrageous.
100%.
And throwing shade at Funimation.
The Comic-Con ticket's like $100, but it costs a ton of money to stay down there.
Oh, God, yeah.
Down there. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, she fucking scammed those people.
Yeah,
Oh, 100%. Because what was it? It was like $4,500 one, yeah, $1,500. And it's like, wow, so people do actually think you're right, or they actually think you need help. But then, all of a sudden, she's down Comic-Con. It's like, wow, okay, That's where the money's gone, and these people haven't questioned you or nothing.
Yeah, because it's obvious
they don't think, they don't care,
and it's obvious she didn't have the money for Comic-Con. Like that's obvious.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, she pitched it like she was going to go after people's enemies, right? Kick Vic's
Yes.
common enemies. They hate Yellow Flash in particular. She hates
they hate him, don't they?
Yeah, so she's like, hey, give me money and I'll go after this guy. And that's why you had Sean Schemmel and DC Douglas.
Oh,
the sad thing is that these people who are contracted by Funimation supported that. And then she throws shade at Funimation. Like, Funimation, what are you guys thinking? As either way, whenever this ends, like whenever this Vic stuff dies down,
it's not going to end
or
for
more
them.
of you, it's not going to end well for you guys either
No,
way.
it's not.
And you're
It's
going
going
to
to be really bad. It's going to be a huge washout. I think. I think they'll clean house and be like, yeah, we can't have this anymore. We need other people who are not going to mess us over.
It'd be silly for them not to clean house afterwards. But then again, Funimation seems to not make the best of decisions. But I'd imagine Sony will definitely clean house.
Yes, I think Sony definitely will, because they'll probably look at this, because when did Sony get Funimation?
I think that happened with last year, or maybe 2 years ago.
It was somewhere around, yeah, and they're probably looking at that time like, oh, yeah, it was a good investment. Dragon Ball, obviously, all huge. Then all of a sudden, this happens, and they could be there like, what have we bought? What have we got ourselves into? But it's like you're saying, with Mars Girl throwing shade at Funimation, that just, again, it's... I just couldn't think, like, wow, okay, you've turned on yourself already. I didn't think it'd take this long.
Yeah, I mean, the TCPAs, they're just hanging out there. And I think, if it goes beyond that stage, crossing my fingers, hoping it does, hoping he wins everything. But if it goes past the TCPA phase, this is going to be a bad, bad look if this goes in front of trial. Like,
oh, God, yeah. I think it'll be quiet for a couple of weeks.
Imagine Ron in front of a jury.
There's already backlash culminating because somebody made kind of not a twit longer, but they made like this huge statement. I want to say it's not even that big, but they tagged Monica Rial, Mars Girl, and it's basically stating Funimation knew this whole time and didn't do anything.
Yes, that's the Google Drive document, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I did read that, and again, it's a lot of times when people when they write down, because I'll go with Tim Doyle for a thing at the moment when he said this is not a threat.
Yeah.
When people have to say that, it kind of is.
Yeah.
And when he with that Google document, he goes, "This is not a call to arms," and I think he repeated that like 2 or 3 times during the entire document. And I was just saying, like, right, okay, so you want to gather the masses and go against Funimation? Good luck. You're supporting Monica, Jamie, all these people, then all of a sudden you want to attack their livelihood. This is how they make money. It's like you're taking that away from them. Do you really think they're going to class you as their fans? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. It was only a matter of time before this was to happen anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It usually does. But next question.
I think at the end of the day, it's... Oh, I was just going to say one final thing.
Go ahead.
Going through what we do know so far, kind of, about Funimation, like, we don't really know. We can only go by what we've been told.
That's it, yeah.
Things like the Glassdoor reviews, things like the behavior of the people there, the fact that Funimation doesn't police anyone and anything that they do, right?
Yeah, they don't monitor what they say on social media and stuff.
I think you just have overgrown children. I mean, you just do. Like, don't get me wrong. And as much as I want to be principled and professional, if nothing I did had any consequence, I'd be a jackass. We all
100%. I would do anything I could.
I mean, that's kind of like one thing.
You'd be an LJ Smoocello.
Marcello, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the person who steals art from somebody and then blames a non-existent child.
No, he dove out.
Just, yeah, like that's that.
Well,
that's the thing. The other thing is,
they're
Crow. Crow.
yeah,
Crow.
Hey, Crow.
On social media, who fans of their character,
Hey,
Yeah.
Crow. You're cutting
Robot.
in and out. So
Terribly.
yeah,
the
like
Russian
really
bot's
bad.
taking over.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Putin's on to you.
I'm gonna suggest maybe once you like finally stop, you should maybe come back in. But you're been cutting in and out really bad.
Yeah. All right, there he goes. He muted himself.
Yeah.
All right. All
If
right,
it's
good
sod
stuff.
you, I don't like you.
Yeah. I mean, just to reiterate Crow's point, Funimation is just, unprofessional. And you can even tell that in their TCPA when they're trying to say, no, they don't work for us. They're just contractors.
They're contractors, yeah. That's the easy buyout from them, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to evade responsibility. So Funimation is being mismanaged. Their unprofessionalism speaks volumes. And what more is there to say? Any final thoughts, anybody?
No, I don't.
I got
Have
one on the social media aspect, if I can just say something on that quickly.
Please.
Like obviously when they say that, in the TCPAs, like, oh, we don't anything that they put on social media, it's not us. And say my last job before my back went out, I worked for the biggest supermarket in the UK. I was on their social media team, and there was over 100 of us, and we all had to sign a social media contract. We weren't allowed to do anything wrong or say anything bad about the company. And to be honest with you, I learned that the hard way. It wasn't exactly a good thing. But again, it was just a silly little thing. It was we were having an argument in work over certain things. Do you know Copperberg, the cider drink?
I do not.
Right, say call it a Budweiser, just for example, a beer. That they were handing out free speakers in the UK, and a lot of people said it wasn't us, but we were like, no, we got the email from Budweiser. We showed people, and they were like, oh, I don't believe you. And on Facebook, just stupidly, me and my mates, we just posted something on there, and we were like, see, we are fucking right. Next day, we got called in, and we're like, oh, hello. And they had documents, they printed, again, like how it was with Ron, they printed out all that stuff, and we were just like, yeah, we couldn't get away. Like, if we said, I don't recall sending them, they're going to look at me and say, you're a fucking idiot. We know you sent them, because look. But again, it's just the whole thing. It's, even if they are social or just contractors or whatever, they would have had to sign a social media contract this day and age. Because it's literally bad-mouthing the company they work for. Because how much do we think that these people are getting paid via Funimation for their work? Do we know?
I actually don't. Broly, do you have any idea?
The voice actors?
Yeah, so how much would you say Monica or Vic get, like per recording or something? Or is it per role? Or
It's per hour, and the rate is either 50 or 75. I've heard both.
Yeah.
Right, so obviously, do an hour, and obviously in probably half a movie done or something, if they could, or maybe a little bit less. So they're going to be there for a while. And with that, they must have signed something to say, yeah, you cannot discredit us on social media, especially being 2019 or 2018 or whenever it was bought, Because this is obviously, we're at this moment in time, we're in the prime of social media. And there's bound to be something about it.
In Monica's depositions, she says that she isn't aware of any handbook or anything like that. As far as I am aware, maybe they have a few things posted around the Funimation building. She actually does all of her recording there, which was an interesting thing. It sounds like she's an employee from that. And also, I just want to bring forth this general idea. These lawyers and Kick Vic and whatnot, not Kick Vic itself, but the main people, Monica and Jamie, they're acting like Vic should be able to control his air quote fans.
I don't understand that. It's like,
well, at the same time, they can't even control their contractors, people they pay money, people whose claim to fame is through Funimation. But Vic should take responsibility and control people he has no ability to do so with.
He actually posted tweets as well saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. And they're like, oh, he's asking people to attack us. Where does it say that? He's not. He just wants calmful and everyone to be nice to each other. that's one thing I literally round of applause to Vic for that, man. He has stayed calm throughout this entire situation. He
Yeah.
has been
Morally,
so
that was a
well.
good thing. Strategically, very bad.
Yeah.
Because that's been used against them in any number of ways.
Oh
Like
God, yeah,
Nick
they've
said
all
it over
tried
and
it.
over. You can't police the internet. That's
Yes.
exactly it. But you can police your contractors. They're your contractors.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So the next question is kind of going to segue into what we're about to talk about with you, Dan,
Yeah, sure.
like specifically to the region you live in. So I'll leave it off on this, and then Dean will take it away from there. Dean, are you cool with that?
I am definitely cool with that.
Okay. So, do you find it difficult to, create your videos on this specific controversy or controversy in general with the way the censorship is over there?
At this moment in time, it hasn't been too bad. My issue is mostly been with YouTube itself. And again, that must be the algorithm ever since people have been reporting videos and channels and stuff. Obviously, they've entered all that into it. But over here, there was censorship in the UK has been rife since the mid-80s. Obviously, they all kicked off with the video nasty phase of like Evil Dead and all these. They were all banned, even though these horror films are not exactly that good. Then they may be violent, whatever, but they're not exactly that bad. And there was Mary Whitehouse. She was the key person. She didn't work for the government. She didn't work in 10 Downing Street for Parliament or no one. She was just someone who said, these videos need to be destroyed. I was like, right, okay, why? Because they're graphic. Have you seen any? No, I haven't seen any. It's like, okay, so how would you know they're, like this? And obviously censorship throughout the 90s, it just kind of started dying down in like the video phase and obviously digital now, and obviously a lot more people now can get on the internet. And you can find a lot more interesting things on the internet. But with the censorship online, at this moment in time, I do know they are trying to bring in censorship again for the internet, which is completely different to Article 13. What the British government want to do, they want to bring something online that all UK households have to sign and all this kind of stuff with their internet provider. And it's basically, if someone says one bad thing to you, you can get done for it. And I look at that, I think that's probably the worst type of censorship going. It's like Big Brother sort of thing, It's like, a totalitarian state. Everyone's like, you can't do that. You can't say this. It's the perfect example I'd probably go is with that Umbrella guy's wife and Renfamous. Renfamous, she's just been going on saying, oh, she's called me a fat whale all year. It's like, well, so? It's, I think you got thick skin because I'm pretty sure she's in her mid-30s, and she Renfamous.
Yeah.
Or probably older. And she would have grown up, obviously, when times were completely different. But censorship for me, it's a bit of a tricky subject, mostly, again, because I know you wanted to talk about Tommy Robinson. And he's a big thing for the censorship in this country. Mostly because he's been put in jail for contempt of court for 9 months because he live streamed from inside a court. Which, okay, yeah, it's like, right, okay, it is bad. He should never have done it. But they are literally just arresting him and putting him in jail because he was covering the news, which the UK news didn't want to get out.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue. I'm actually going to read a little excerpt from a CNN article on the Tommy Robinson situation.
Yep, go for it.
Follow you up with some questions. So this is from London CNN. And might I just add, I really like how they have to keep adding in the fact that that Tommy Robinson is far right.
They've always said that, and to be honest with you, it's a bit stupid.
Yeah, so London CNN. British far-right campaigner Tommy Robinson has been given 9-month jail sentence after being found in contempt of court for live streaming footage of defendants in a 2018 criminal trial. Last week, 2 senior High Court judges at London's Old Bailey found Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, in breach of a reporting ban. He was sentenced on Thursday. Robinson supporters, including right-wing commentator Katie Hopkins, awaited the verdict outside the court. The crowd held up Union Jack flags and protested in anger when the sentence was announced. The article goes on to say how Tommy Robinson thought that because all of this was public information, that he didn't believe he was in the wrong in any way, which makes sense. I'm not sure about the legal code and if he really did
become contempt of court.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see, with that there, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because I believe what he done is right.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can I just ask a question here?
Go ahead.
The thing with Tommy Robinson, as I understand it, I didn't hear that he was live streaming from inside of a courthouse. What I heard was it was outside of the courthouse. These people had been convicted, and he had called them. So he basically called them predators or rapists or something, which is what they've been convicted of. But because he had done that, they had deemed it interfering with the trial or some sort of thing like that, and they arrested him for that. But the way that they arrested him was weird, because they just kind of like took him, locked him up, and when he finally did get to see a judge, the judge threw him out, and I guess they locked him back up again.
Yeah, it's so what happened. Obviously, there's been so many different reports on it, and I agree with him that he has just been sent to prison just for speaking out. That's all. But the way he done it, because obviously with the live stream, it was to Facebook, it was, and the actual court case was regarding a paedophile ring in London, and these people, the ones who were committed the actual paedophile ring, these people were Muslims. So obviously the UK, for some unknown reason, the UK people and the news and all this kind of stuff, if anything like that happens in the courts, they try and brush it under the carpet. And so I do see that.
I got a question for all of you, actually.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So do you think, by the principle of the description that Crow just gave about Robinson, do you think they'd arrest Greg Doucette for constantly tweeting out Vic is not a pedophile in like that assumption way?
100%. The UK police would, yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, because it's weird, but it's. I think one of the big things to take away from this is happened a couple of years ago. There was the London riots, and I can't remember what caused it, but 3 people in Swansea, which is the other side of Wales, to London, and which was about 700 miles away, something like that. Yeah. They incited a riot in London over Facebook.
Oh wow!
And they got arrested, and I can't remember what they were sentenced to, but they were in prison for a while. So just with that kind of knowledge, with Greg Doucette saying what he's been saying, to be honest, to all these people, he's this, he's that, he's a predator. Obviously, if people find that not right, they would have gone to the police, and again, this is it. They would have arrested him. But when going back to Tommy Robinson, I understand why he done it, why he streamed, and why he told the public who was in it, because people need to know. Because these people, they're going to be around. If to say, just for a matter of fact, that they were let go, or they only served a minimum sentence, and all of a sudden these people are back out in the open, and they could get other people's kids. So it's like these people. You need to watch out for these people. I agree with all that. But then, obviously, when they arrested him, I was like, "Oh, come on! There's no need for this."
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way they do it. It's the way that the UK think that they're hammering down on racism, but they're not. They're just going to make it look even worse, because when you do have people, again, Tommy Robinson, and you've got a few other people who are now in Parliament as well, and they're like, if they say anything, you can't say that. You don't want to upset anyone. And it's almost like they're catering to that side. That's where a lot of people move over, like the far right and whatnot. And I could see why Tommy Robinson, did stream it, because these people need to be known. But the actual papers for the following couple of days after that happened, there was no word or anything about the actual court case. It was all Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It's like, oh, he was in court, he done this, he done that, he's been arrested. And then when people were questioning them on TV, they were like, oh, well, what's happened? Oh, we can't say. We can't say. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
It is bad. It's just like, come on, you can't say that when someone's been arrested. And he's like, well, what are they being arrested for? What were they doing?
That's what's so scary about your what's so scary about your country, honestly.
Oh, mate,
they can just do stuff like and because look, here's the thing, right? But politics are a little bit different between Europe and the United States, because I understand in Europe, UK, and everything, it's way more to the left. Period, right?
Yes.
Whereas over here, it's definitely not, right? Although our media is, as I understand it, is more European left wing than anything else.
Yeah.
But anyways, the standards are different. So the things that Tommy Robinson talks about, they're not really controversial by U.S. standards.
No, they're not. That's one of the funniest things regarding it. It's because I believe, who said something? My uncle, he actually sent me a tweet along when this was all happening. Like, it was an American comedian. He said something, and he goes, well, that's a bit ting. I was like, wow, okay. Obviously, to me, this is a big thing, But when you get comedians going, that's fuck all. It's like, you should see what we're doing in our country. It's almost like the perfect meme. When someone says... Go on, sorry, what's that?
The standards evenly. They don't enforce the standards evenly, period. And everybody can see it.
Yeah. It's the perfect meme, like I was just saying. It's the, the meme where it says, oh, UK, oh, I've done this, and then America, hold my beer. It's that sort of meme thing. It's like, oh, we've got this person who's doing this. Look what he's done. And then they're like, oh, wait till you see what we do. And it's like, Jesus Christ, okay, fair enough. But yeah, it's with Tommy Robinson. I don't think he should be in prison. But again, he did kind of break the law by filming inside a courtroom. So again, it's a bit like, right, he shouldn't, but he should. But it should he shouldn't outweighs the should.
Yeah, perfect. And that actually answers my first question on it, which was, what do you think about the British government and how they treated Tommy Robinson? So let me get into the second question on this. How do you feel about journalist censorship?
I personally don't think they should be censored. Mostly because, again, if they censor it, they're only giving the public little bits, like little tidbits or whatever of what's happening. And again, these journalists, from higher up, if they're being told to censor things, they could probably know some real horrible shit's about to happen. And no one's going to know because, oh, yeah, don't worry. Well, we had this report saying someone told us this, but, House of Parliament or Buckingham Palace is going to be blown up. But then all of a sudden, it's like, no, it's fine, don't worry. It's just wrong, it's just fake, don't worry, fake news. As, a lot of things happens. And if it does happen then, those journalists are brought up saying, well, you knew something, why didn't you tell someone?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we were told we're not allowed.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting because we were talking about this a little bit, but I find it really interesting how back in the day it was the news media just wouldn't cover certain things, so you wouldn't get the truth, and now they're being censored to not tell the truth. So, I mean, it's as if no matter what, you were never getting the truth.
Yeah.
But now it's just in another form.
It's over here. See, we've only got a couple of news channels. Mostly it's BBC, ITV, or Sky. And ITV and Sky, because most of it is public funded or whatever, they actually tell stories more to the point. They won't offer everything, but they will offer a little bit more information than the BBC do. And obviously the BBC, they've in the past, probably still are, everyone knows that they've hidden quite a few nasty surprises. Obviously the Jimmy Savile incident, you know who he is?
I'm not familiar.
Right. in your country, do you have anyone who's been like a child's presenter for decades?
Barney.
No,
No, sorry.
didn't end well for him. Pee.
It's almost like, how about the guy who played Elmo?
Yeah, I was gonna say Pee Wee, but he wasn't really.
Yeah,
a child. He was a
well,
child.
yeah, well, not Pee Wee, because he was caught in the cinema, wasn't he? Jacking off. Yeah. But over here, Jimmy Savile, he was the BBC's golden child, basically. He did everything from the 70s all the way up until he died a couple of years ago. And what he done everything. He was knighted by the Queen, he done everything for charity. Everyone loved him.
Oh boy.
And yeah, here we go. You can probably see where it's going.
Yeah.
He visited tons of mental institutions, mental hospitals for kids, normal hospitals, charities, the works. He done everything. But it was like a month after he died, all of a sudden, there was like 500 people that come out and said he sexually abused me.
Yeah.
And it was all true. Which is, when you think about it, it's like, holy shit. And the BBC knew, because the BBC didn't tell anyone, because the BBC people at that time were also involved.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Oh, it's just mind blowing when you think of it. A public say this the BBC over here in the UK, there's no commercials or anything on the between programs.
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly because, again, people pay or a TV license over here, and that only goes to the BBC.
Oh wow.
That's why ITV or all our other Sky channels, they all have commercials.
Basically, state-run, state-funded.
100%. And obviously, that sort of
that's
thing
crazy.
there, the BBC, when all this came out, the BBC did censor a lot of things.
Mhm.
But then that's when you only found out via Sky News. Again, CNN as well, the UK one. ITV News, Channel 4 News, they're all like, no, this is what happened. And the BBC were like, oh, no, it wasn't that bad. Certain stories have been wrong. They've been falsified. But then it's like, well, no, it hasn't been falsified. This guy is a fucking pedo. He was one of the worst pedophiles the UK's ever known.
Yeah.
And the BBC, they were censoring all their news shows, so no one would do anything. There's a TV show over here that's live every evening at 7 p.m. and it's called The One Show. And I'll always remember when all this came out, there's people behind it because they had like a glass window.
Yeah.
And obviously there were signs about Savile and everything. Next thing you know, they cut the black. Next thing, they open it up and they're in a different part of the building. There's no windows. And it's like, oh, come on. You're censoring the show straight away. People deserve to know. And again, journalism, getting back to that point, with the BBC, they're probably the worst ones in censoring journalism in this country. Because it's state-run and obviously state-funded and everything else, they think that they can do whatever they want. It's like, we'll put it out there and they'll lap it up. But then when they find out the rightful situations and the stories, then the BBC just literally do a 180 and say, it wasn't us, it was them. And it's like, you are censoring the word. It's kind of like, obviously over here, it's a little bit different to your free speech. They say that over here, oh, you got free speech, you got this. But when you actually look into it, the free speech in the UK, you're allowed it. But if you say anything wrong about the Queen or anything, they can get you done for treason.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like an old law they haven't changed. Or they haven't updated, probably is probably the best word to say. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy what they say about it.
Now, since we're on the censorship issue, I was curious, do you think that censorship has been worse because of the EU? And do you think it will get better after Brexit is finished?
To be honest with you, I'm not too sure on that. Mostly because obviously we know that Brexit, it's got a couple of good things and it's got a couple of bad things for the UK.
Mm-hmm.
But with censorship, I'm not too sure. We do have a few rules regarding Brexit and obviously what's going to happen. But with Article 13, if we stay in the EU, we're going to have Article 13.
Yeah.
But if we get out of Europe, we're not going to have it. But again, it wouldn't surprise me, or it wouldn't put it past me and our government that even if Brexit becomes successful and we get out of Europe and everything else, they would still take up Article 13. It wouldn't put it past
regardless.
Yeah, just because of, they've been so tight since the late 80s. It's like, we're doing all this. The UK, they give billions away to the EU every year. And it's like, we need this money in this country to help our schools and fund everything else. But you're still paying people to that, and we want to leave. But censorship, I think it will be a little bit tricky. I think there will be a few more things regarding censorship when they come out of the EU. At this moment in time, obviously, Boris Johnson, our brand new Prime Minister. Yay. I'm not a fan of him. But yeah, he wants certain things brought in regarding television. He wants to censor it again for kids. And it's like, come on. It's like, just let the kids watch their shows, But it's, again, he had, I can't remember what it was. Was it Fitness Town or Fitness City or something? It was a children's program, it was. But it had quite sexual overtones in it, like double entendres and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, jeez.
And again, he wants that censored. But it's not like that bad double entendre. It's not like, hey, one in the bottom, not that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it was childless. It was just childless humor.
Yeah, I mean, we're not unfamiliar with that. I know, like, Dexter's Lab always had, like,
I love Dexter.
Innuendos. Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah, Rocko's Modern Life is coming back, by the way.
Yes, on Netflix, isn't it?
Sex Hotline.
Yeah. And childhood cartoons were full of innuendos and stuff. Do you guys remember, like, especially Looney Tunes? Because I think that was, like, all over the world. Like, Yosemite Sam would just brandish a gun right in Bugs Bunny's face,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
rabbit season. And he's like, no, it's like, he just fire. It's like he didn't care.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my kind of guy, my kind of gunfighter there. But again, it's with Brexit, it's a bit of a touchy subject. I did vote to remain, mostly because it's better the devil you know. Because we haven't been on our own for a long time. And obviously a lot of our rules and a lot of the stuff that the government have done and the state do, it is off the back of EU interrogation and stuff like that, basically. Some of the things that they've done to the UK just to try and get information out of us. And then they're like, right, we know this, you're going to do it our way. It's like, right, okay, fair enough. But then it's like, well, what do we do when we get out? Like, okay, fair enough. You won't have Article 13. That's good. But there's been no other, like, if we're out, what's going to be good? There's no other rules that have come in. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, for all we know, so I know where Donald Trump did say that obviously when we leave the EU, the US and the UK are still going to have a huge relationship, which is great. And obviously Japan have said the same, China have said the same to us, but it wouldn't put it past the EU, so people over in Brussels and all that where it's happening, that they would try and stop it.
Yeah.
Just because I think the UK, it's like we got to pay him something like £23 billion like for 3 years in a row. Or something stupid like that just to get out of it. It's like, what? It's like, why have we got to pay to get out of it?
Yeah. So, okay. So, well, that's, it's good to know because I was going to ask you what your opinion on Brexit is. But then, do you feel, whether or not you wanted to remain or stay, which you said you voted to remain, do you think Brexit has been mismanaged?
100%.
Yeah, I think so, and I'm not.
I mean, I think the answer was obvious, but I had to ask.
No, I'll say the biggest mistake with Brexit was the guy who said, David Cameron, the Prime Minister at that time, he was like, right, we're gonna, if we want to leave, we'll do a vote, and he wanted to stay. It's like, well, if you're the Prime Minister, why do you want to leave? To be honest with you, in my eyes, it should never have gone to a public vote. Because it was going to be like this no matter what. It's going to be a catch-22 situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got the people, the public, who were literally split down the middle. It was something stupid. It was like how the American election went with President Trump and the other woman, Clinton.
Hillary.
With Clinton,
Hillary,
yeah. It was literally like when you look at the things, it was like a percentage-wise sort of thing. It was like that. It was like, right, okay, well, you've won because of this many. And it wasn't that much difference between the two. But a lot of people, the ones who voted to leave, are the majority of the richest people in the UK. because they're helping themselves because they want to put the tax bracket up to the higher 50,000 mark now or something. And over here, if 44% is the tax at the moment, so if you earn anything up to £44,000, you only pay 20% tax on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, if you go over that amount, or say you earned like £1 extra, you'd automatically be paying 44% tax over the year.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, okay, but they want to push that up now. I think it's the high 50s or something like that. So obviously the rich want to keep the rich richer. And the public, when you actually ask people in the streets, what do you want to do? A lot of them don't actually know. There's, because if you watch there's tons of news reports, people on Twitter, they're like, well, if this happens, what do you want to do? And a lot of them are like, I don't know. See how it goes, isn't it? It's like, you can't be like that. You need to you're either staying or you're going. Leave or remain. And with a lot of people like that, with the ones who want to remain, is because here in Wales, we get a lot of funding from the EU.
Mm-hmm.
We don't actually get it from the British government. Which, when you think about it, is a little bit like, well, shouldn't it be the other way around? Because obviously we're part of Great Britain. They don't think that we deserve any of their money, so we get all ours from the EU.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people that voted to leave. I know that there was the thought that the UK spends or pays into the EU a lot of money. Without seeing a lot of representation. America is no stranger to that idea, taxation without representation.
Yeah.
Which is what I find pretty interesting about the whole topic.
It is. It's a lot. Say over here, we get taxed on a lot of stuff, and again, in the States, we say we get taxed on nearly literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even if you spend £1 on, say, a loaf of bread or something, we're still paying 20% tax. And that's what it's like. What? Oh, it's ridiculous. It's because that's the Tories, the Conservatives who are in now. They put that up about 9 years ago, and because before that it was 17% under the Labour people, so Tony Blair and all them people, because they were like, well, people, they want to actually keep a bit of their money they earn. So obviously they were like all this kind of stuff. But again, how much the UK pays into the EU? Because I'm looking by here actually now. It's called a EU membership fee, and it's like, what? And they pay 13 million to the EU's budget in 2018.
Yeah.
So the UK's net contribution is estimated at nearly £9 billion.
Yeah, and they think the craziest part to a lot of people is that you're paying all that money in while also letting all these other countries basically decide what Britain has to do.
Yes.
Which is, a little crazy. Pay the most money and be told what to do at the same time.
Yeah. It's almost like going to a very, very expensive escort. It's that kind of way when you think about it. But a lot of people, obviously, I know some of the people who wanted to leave again, they think that it's going to close the borders. Because obviously a lot of people, we do get quite a few immigrants, and, I'm not going to say we don't. But a lot of the people, going back to Tommy Robinson and him and his lot, they all think that we get thousands and thousands of people, which we don't. But they're the ones who think, we get out of the EU, we're not going to have this problem. We're always going to have this problem. And again, we're still going to be paying those countries because we got their people.
Yeah.
Because I still think there's something going on. Like, even if we get out of the EU, we still got to help other countries that we promised. So it's like, even though it could be in the EU, it's a bit like, right, okay, you're going to leave us, but you're still going to help us, right? It's because at the moment, Italy and I believe Greece, they're the ones who are in the EU and they're actually bankrupt.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can a country go bankrupt?
Yeah,
it's when you got the UK, you got France, and I believe you got Germany who are paying off their bills.
Yeah.
I mean,
Greece just will not make better changes too.
Yeah, they won't.
Yeah. Now, I would like to bring us over to another small excerpt from another article and transition into questions about it.
Yeah, sure.
So this is from the Washington Examiner. Social justice warriors stormed a London cafe to protest Winston Churchill. They failed. Now, over the weekend, a particularly idiotic social justice warrior protest took place in London, England. This time, the target was the Blighty, England, was in. This time, the target
The Blighty
was
Cafe, in North
the
London.
Blighty
Yeah.
Cafe in North London. Yeah, exactly. Which they accuse of being oppressive by featuring a figure of Winston Churchill at one table. A video of the protest shows a group of around 10 individuals entering the cafe and reading off a poorly prepared script. They began with standard fare SJWism. We cannot accept the unashamed colonial and gentrifying presence of this cafe. Gentrification is bad, you see, because although it injects jobs, wealth, and services into poor communities, it also upsets hipsters who think they are revolutionaries. It goes on to...
Yeah. I actually got the article up by here when they demand sent words straight from the SJW Bible.
No, yeah, so before I get into the questions, I just want to add, it's crazy to think Winston Churchill's some oppressive figure. I mean, this guy spoke out against Hitler. He
stood up to him when no one else would at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, which is wild. But how do you feel about historic people being held to current day standards?
Right, see, it's a bit of a tricky one. I do like this question. It's, again, because of present day, different things happen. Mm-hmm. Like this day and age, if Winston Churchill was around from back then, he wouldn't act. Obviously, if he acted like he did back then, he'd probably thrown straight in prison. Because, again, people have called him racist, and they've called him a bigot, and they've called him everything under the sun. But this guy, he basically helped England and everything, obviously, well, the UK, get through the toughest times the world's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not exactly a little war, it's not like, obviously, what's going on currently over in Afghanistan. This has been going on for decades now, and it hasn't over in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And, World War II, it was just, 5 years at most, 5-6 years at most. And, at that time, it was the worst thing the world's ever seen. Everyone was getting involved. And for someone to stand up amongst all of that and be like, you know what? No, we're going to win. We're going to go on to victory. We're going to do this, going to do that. And when you got someone like these people here who have taken over the cafe and they started protesting, it's like, if he didn't do that, you wouldn't be able to do this. You would be under, because obviously if Germany won, well, if they did win, the entire world would be blonde hair, blue eyes. If that's the kind of thing. Yeah, which obviously, because that's the kind of person he wanted. He obviously got rid of all the Jewish people and everything else, all the Muslims at the time, all the gays, whatever, and he got rid of nearly everyone. If you weren't blonde and blue eyes, which was his perfect soldier, as he called them, that's what everyone in this world would have been. And that cracks me because he actually wasn't blue-eyed and blonde hair. He was just like, a little man with a little toupee sort of thing. But when you go against someone who has literally fought for your right to live and for your right to come around here and basically protest something stupid, you're just, in my eyes, you're an idiot. It's like, obviously what this article calls him, basically. It's like, you've done this guy fought for your life. If he didn't do that, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing now.
Without doubt.
And it's going to the thing about, obviously, classical historical characters this day and age, and if they were held accountable for what they'd done, you would probably see a ton of people either being death sentences or just being outright killed by people.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I believe, I'm not sure if this is true at this moment in time, they may teach it now, but when I was growing up and we were doing history in school, we were told over in Germany they don't actually allow World War II to be taught up until a certain point in school because they don't want them to know that they lost. It was something like that. And I just remember sitting there when my teacher was telling me, and I'm like, nah, you gotta be full of shit. It's like, no way would a country not talk about the Great War,
Mm-hmm.
But But again, if Hitler was around, obviously he'd be held accountable for worst things he's done, probably the death sentence. And when you talk about people like Kim Jong at the moment and the way he is to his people, he's probably a modern day Hitler. But the way he acts, and obviously he's friendly with Trump and everything else, which to be honest with you, I think is great. Because no one has been able to do that in years. It's one of the world's worst countries, and obviously the people who say, we're going to blow you up, it's like, right, okay, well, let's make friends of you. And that's what's happened. But being held accountable, I should say, to today's standards, I think Hitler and obviously Churchill and a few others, they wouldn't be around. They wouldn't even get into the position that they got at that time. Because obviously back then, different times, different aspects, different culture, everyone had different outlooks, and these were just the strongest people at that time to take a stand.
Yeah. Which kind of answers the next question, which was, should we recognize people like Churchill for their contributions during their lifetime that made lives better at the time, or bury them away because we don't want to offend people?
I understand about that one. Yeah, I think we should talk about him, even talk about Hitler, because again, if those people weren't around, we wouldn't have the life we got now.
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of thing. It's like, they were there, they changed history for the good or for the bad. It's like, yes, these terrible things have happened, but if they never happened, we wouldn't have had the relationships we got now with different countries.
Yeah,
it's that sort of thing. But again, you can go a lot deeper. But again, I just haven't got the brain cells for that. In the way I look at it.
I mean, how can one generation learn from the last if there's no record of it?
Yeah, sweeping
Exactly.
things under the rug, never really solves any problems at all now,
Oh God, no! Look at Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. That was one of the biggest. You know what? When that was happening, I was like late 90s. I was about 10, 12, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, "What's that, Dad?" And he just wouldn't tell me. I'll always remember. He's like, "Oh, don't you worry about that, son." Like, go on, Dan, go away, out the room. I'm watching the news. I'm like, okay, can't be that bad.
Now,
got older, found out what it was.
So that's funny. Now, do you think in 50 to 100 years that we'll kind of have the same situation where we're being judged to that time standards? And is that a little... I mean, obviously it's troublesome, but I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this. Do you believe that that'll be an issue? An issue continuing to go forward in time?
In the time frame you give, it's about 50 to 100 years, I don't think they would probably talk about Hitler or even Churchill at that time. I think at this moment in time, a lot of people are trying to actually scrub away history.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with us, it all depends what we all become. And, we all could become bad, we all could become great. And I really don't think they would talk about us because of the way the culture's going at this moment with the outrage and all that. And it's like, oh, if you say anything bad, you're straight away, you're classed as someone wrong. And
I know a good way of let me try to phrase this so people can all understand. In the future, people will remember us like they remember the fucking hippies. We'll
yes,
be a joke.
Perfect.
We'll be a joke.
Yeah.
Well, we are 100%. Kind of
100%.
seeing that with what are they, Gen Z, and their thoughts on millennials already. Whereas Gen Z, actually, the generation after millennials, they think millennial culture is a joke. For the most part, and they actually
way more conservative.
They find that millennials being offended about everything, SJW culture is a laugh. I'm a millennial, and I mean I would have to agree on some points.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a millennial. I was born in 1986, and again, I look at some people who class themselves as millennials and all this, and I'm just like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So can you It goes back to a conversation I was having with a friend of mine that obviously all this thing is happening with, the Gillette ad they had.
Which one?
Oh yeah,
Not the transgender one, the other one. When someone, they're like, "Oh,
be better."
Male toxicity and all that. I was just because we were talking about that sort of thing, and they're like, "Oh, the guy walks out. Oh, look at it," and the guy's like, "Oh, dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah, I love that meme.
Yeah, there's so many of them now.
Yeah.
And but when we're talking about me and my mates, we're just talking about it because over here in the UK, that kind of culture is a little bit different than the States. Because when that was played over here, everyone just laughed at it, even the women. And we were just like, probably because over here, we don't know about the States because obviously we haven't grown up over there. And if we see someone being a bit of a dick over here, we tell them. We don't let it carry on, sort of thing, like they were saying in that Gillette advert. They're like someone, like a kid, like pushing other kids or whatever. Like, oh, just boys being boys. Like over here, if we saw that, we're like, kid, fucking stop it or I'll slap you.
Yeah,
that's how I was brought up. Is that sort of thing? You have respect for everyone else. And when we saw that, we were talking about it, and we were like, is it just me or is the rest of the world just nuts? Because if we see that happening over here, we're like, you know what? No, don't do that. That's wrong. If you're being a bit of a cunt, you're being a bit of a cunt. Stop it. That's exactly it. And how do you feel about that those kind of adverts coming from your country, though? Do you think that the rest of the world thinks like what I just said? Like, the rest of the world think we're fucking idiots.
No, without a doubt. I mean, it was when the Gillette commercial came out. Mostly everybody except for SJWs and the media, which explodes SJW logic.
They ate that shit up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But mostly everybody was like, "What is this? This is you're a shaving company. You make razors. What are you doing?
Why are you going against your key demographic?"
Yeah, that's the biggest. Yeah, no, without a doubt, it's like, well, everybody that buys those razors from Gillette is, well, I mean, they sell women's razors, but I don't think it's nearly as big of a market for them.
No, I think with the male razors, I think it's something like 49% or 48% of their global income.
Yeah,
something like that, and it's like you're losing basically half of your money right now.
Yeah, and then they like doubled down and then did the transgender one, which I mean, I'm not against transgenders at all. I really don't care what people do.
Same in this country. No one cares.
Technically, that wasn't a double down because before that, they did the all-white, blonde-haired family. It was all.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I just forgot about that.
I remember seeing that one. We never got the transgender one over here in the UK.
Yeah, it's crazy. Gillette just seems to not have their best interest in mind, almost like Funimation. They just I don't know what's up with these companies and just
going out of their way and destroying their reputation with people.
Yeah, I think they buy into the media's portrayal of things, and they're just like, this is.
They just listen to that.
Yeah, which is dumb.
It's going back to people believe everything they see now on Facebook or Twitter is real. Yeah. They take that as face value. They take that as their daily dose of news, and it's like, right, okay, that's probably why, obviously, with Alex Jones and certain people like that. Again, I'm a big fan of Alex Jones. The way he loses his shit, I'm just like, this guy is amazing. It's just great entertainment value, and I've watched every.
In the water to turn the frogs gay.
It is like I've watched this month alone about 4 or 5 of his podcasts he's been on. I even watched the one he did on Logan Paul. Mm-hmm. I was like, that was a fucking good podcast with Logan Paul. And these days, like, everyone is just stupid. Everyone just get on with their lives, love to live, and that's it. And it is true. But again, like I was saying, stuff in the water, turning the frogs gay and all this kind of stuff. It's like, whoa. Like, this guy, I wonder what he's like on acid.
Yeah. The rumor has it he drank a gallon and has just never stopped tripping.
Yeah, you know what? That probably is true. He's just there. He's just got so much energy. It's just like, dude, I was exhausted from watching him.
Yeah, he is. He's a great entertainer. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
man. It's again, it's because a lot of the stuff he says though, it's like, all right, take it with a pinch of salt. But some of the things, it actually does make you stop and think. It's like, right, okay, I understand why they would think that.
I'm not
why
sure.
they go this
Are
way.
you? Did you watch his podcast? The Joe Rogan podcast when he had Alex Jones on the
Yes.
most recent time.
Oh, is that when he called himself retarded?
Yes.
yeah, that
Yes.
is. But they were going over a list of conspiracies that sounded wild at the time, that just turned out to be true.
Yeah, it's when you think about that, those kind of topics, it does really make you think. Again, it's going back to the censorship kind of thing. So they're thinking that. Well, why do they think that? Where are they getting this information from for it to turn out to be true?
Yes.
It's just mind blowing. It is. I just love that.
No,
Mind blowing. I say that in a lot of my videos. But
yeah. Now, I think we can. I wanted to go over just one last topic. I don't know if anybody else wants to go over anything, but as far as me, I wanted to kind of talk about what's going on with Twitch, and their crazy double standards, as well
cat
as
lady.
Yeah, as well as
Alinity, yeah.
Alinity,
yeah. Now, what's your opinion on Alinity and the fact that she's not banned somehow?
Yeah, the reason that she's not banned, that's absolutely crazy. And say I covered a
Who their primary market is.
yes, obviously with someone like her, she is a good-looking girl. There's no chance about it, and obviously it's going to bring in the people who watch, so all the teenage boys, as she puts it. And obviously, a lot of those probably got mummy or daddy's credit card or whatever. I'll donate a couple of bucks to you. Here we go, yay! Even though Pornhub is free. You know, it's just like, you don't need to pay these girls, boys. Just go on Pornhub or whatever. It's all on there. But
yeah, like, I've always made this joke about strip clubs. Because I would never pay for sex. I don't care if people do. But I definitely won't pay to go to a strip club and get teased. That seems wild. And then these people are paying, and they don't even get that, like, in-person interaction.
Yeah, they don't get any titties in their face. They don't get nothing. They're just a girl on a chair saying, "No, thank you." That's it. It's like, that's it.
But seriously, Twitch will never police her.
No, they won't.
Because,
well, by now, obviously.
Well, I think it's twofold. Because one, and I could be wrong here. I think Keemstar posted or tweeted something about how he had some sort of dirt.
Yeah, that hasn't even come out yet.
Twitch stuff. But the other thing, and I'm really interested in hearing what that is. But the other major thing would be if they police her on this incident, then they bowed to what people have told them to do, and then they're probably where they're gonna have to start policing all the other shit.
Yeah,
right now.
But that kind of transitions into the next thing about Twitch is they are policing, but they only seem to be policing men.
Yeah,
and it's a crazy double standard, and I wanted to get your opinion on that double standard aspect.
Yeah, so the only part I've seen with that is the gentleman who had one of his fish flop out of his hand one, and he quickly picked it up. And he got banned from Twitch because his animal accidentally jumped out of his hand. You can't control the animal. But with this one, you know, he literally picked the cat up and threw her over her head.
Well, not only that, she also spit vodka into a cat's mouth.
Vodka, yeah. And because what was it? I believe in her Twitter apology, she said, "Oh, that was like a year ago." And I'm just there, like, what? It's like, it was a year ago, but it's still wrong.
Yeah, but that's not the fish thing isn't the only instance. There's been many guys that have gotten temporary bans to full out banishment. I forget his name, but he I think he was playing Warcraft. He got some really insane droppings or some type of, I think it was like some type of promo.
Yeah.
And he was on stream and he humps his pillow, which they didn't take him for that. It was the fact that he pulled down his pants a little and you could see his boxers, which got him like, I think it was like a year ban, I want to say.
A year?
Bloody hell.
Aren't people like painting their bodies completely?
Exactly. There's women that literally dance around in their underwear.
Yeah.
This guy shows a little bit of his boxers.
That is hard. Shut up.
Do you remember Zoe Berger?
Oh my god.
Who was that one?
Zoe Berger, she got banned on Twitch because she would twerk every time she would get a donation.
That's it.
And she migrated to YouTube and made like a fucking fortune. And then
now Twitch actively allows that, though. I mean,
yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, if a guy like dipped his junk in paint, could he just like flap it around and be like,
no,
helicopter that shit like in it, so it splatters all over the place.
Well, I was thinking about joining Twitch and kind of doing something similar, but making my thing into a giraffe. And just see if Twitch will let me slide.
Crow, are you gonna help? Are you gonna help Dean out with that?
Nowhere near that.
Okay.
Oh, come on, Crow. It's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty small. It's not that big.
That's rough.
Started off with I would say pretty cool. It was a pretty cool thing for people, right? But now it's just turned into they know where the money is.
Yes.
They can get these kids who's got mommy and daddy's credit cards and will pay like fucking thousands of dollars on these fucking streams.
That's it. We'll say one thing to look at that is obviously with her throwing a cat and the vodka thing and a few other things, and Dr. Disrespect when he was live streaming, he just walked into a toilet. He didn't show anything.
Yeah.
And he got banned for was it for like 7 days or something?
Yeah. Dr. Disrespect. I got some mad respect for that guy. I think what he did, that was a jackass thing.
Oh, it was a stupid thing to do.
That guy is hilarious.
It seemed intentional.
But yeah, let's say with Dr. Disrespect, man, some of the things he's done, obviously he's been shot at on live, hasn't he? While he's been streaming, someone shot his house. I remember that. And but yeah, see, it does seem to be that they are policing just mostly males on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it was recently someone got banned from Twitch for their dangerous driving. I can't remember what her name was, but she was going, I believe she was driving to Mexico or something, and she was like 20 or 30 miles over the speed limit. And it's all live on her stream as well. It was. She got pulled over by the police and everything. She had a fine, and there and then Twitch just shut it down. Yeah, and it's like, right, okay. But see, when you got people who are dangerous driving, as they say, but then when you got someone who's actually abusing a cat, it's a bit like, right, okay.
Yeah.
I think it does go towards people who bring in the most money for the platform.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
It's with YouTube.
YouTube's the same.
100% with YouTube. YouTube is the way I've seen it over the past couple of years of the way things have gone. Obviously, Logan Paul filmed that dead body.
Yeah.
And fair enough, they never banned him from their channel, but all they went to him was a slap on the wrist, and they got rid of his Google Preferred. That was it. And he's still making like $1 million to $2 million a month.
No, yeah,
You haven't even reprimanded him, really. He disappeared for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, and he come back with an "I'm sorry" video, and then everyone's like, "Okay, all forgiven."
YouTube is not. Wow. Yeah, they're not gonna get rid of one of their golden. YouTube is a business. It has changed dramatically from what it was.
Oh God, yeah.
And I think we talked about this before, but they're trying to establish themselves as a new network. They have YouTube TV now.
YouTube Red and stuff, innit? It's
YouTube Red, and like a little they have ESPN. You can get, instead of cable, you can get YouTube television program, and it has all these channels.
They show a lot of the UFC fights on there now, because over here it's on BT Sport for us.
Yep.
But certain like the prelims aren't.
Yeah, they have
you go on there. Yes, it's all on there. It's like, why? It's like, they want to get rid of basically all the non-famous creators in my eyes.
No, yeah.
You
If any of us recorded a dead body, we'd be gone. We'd never be back. We'd never be welcome back.
100%. Well,
You
I'd
know?
say, funny enough, I made a video this afternoon regarding censorship.
Yeah.
Straight away, put on the channel, it was limited. I was like, great. I was like, okay, fair enough, you know.
Well,
But
I think
in the
that's-
video, I just talk basically how that there's a group of German YouTubers at this moment, and they want to do a union for YouTubers, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
And because they want people to actually look into why videos get demonetized, why they don't, and certain, you know, like little parts of the actual video, like say you got like a 23-minute video and only the last 5 seconds makes you demonetize. They want to know that exact instant. And YouTube have gone back to them and they're like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Yeah.
you're going to be losing a ton of money because they make 45% on everyone's earnings. You know, before anyone even gets anything, they're taking that automatically. And it's like, you know, obviously in the last year or so, you've had people like Will Smith and all these big movie stars come onto the platform.
Freaking Jack Black.
Yeah. Oh, you know
Oh
what?
yeah,
He
it was like
pissed
a
me off.
million subscribers in one
Yeah.
day.
That guy pissed me off because I believe it was like the same week I set mine up. And I was just there throwing my pen down. I was like, fuck you, Jack Black.
with your one intro video, and that's it.
Yeah.
You got like 2 million subs.
He goes, what was he? He goes, does your chair do this? And he goes, PewDiePie. That's all he done. And I was like, millions of views. And I just looked at there and I was like, you fucking bastard. Like, how do you do it? Let me know.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, with YouTube, I can see it going the way of like Facebook, and they are going to be going the way. Like, if you don't think like us, we're going to delete you.
Mhm.
If you're
It's,
small and you don't make enough money for
Oh
them.
God, yeah,
But if
100%.
it's like some kind of corporation or like some massive person who brings them
Yeah.
a ton of money, they might.
If you're
consider
Disney,
different.
CNN, or anything, yeah, we'll have you. We'll even cut our fee so you get the most of the money.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
The way they've done it is, again, because there's been a brand new algorithm put out in the last couple of weeks. And that's why, obviously, anything regarding Vic or over here in the UK, I'm Alex. Do you know who he is?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know, with all the shit he's done, straight away, you talk about them, you're automatically limited.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, it's like that is censoring free speech, sort of. Because you're literally not letting people make any money on what just even if one side was saying, oh, well, this person's good. Because I done a test last week with Captain Marvel on 2 videos.
Yeah.
One video I said Captain Marvel is shit, got demonetized. I said Captain Marvel's amazing, I got a green light. I was like, wow, okay, now I know where you're coming from, like, you know? And just the way YouTube have gone from being literally a small social media channel to let people just, you can upload a video. Anyone in the world can upload a video, they were saying. It's going to be great. Anyone can do anything, to where it's now, where it's a multi-billion-dollar global corporation.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just wrong the way you've done it. You are getting rid of the people who made your platform where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't even monetize my channel at all.
Yeah.
And why? Have they given you a reason why?
No, they just pointed me to the TOS, which
Oh
has
my
any number
God.
of reasons.
Yeah, that's what this union wants. It was actually on One Angry Gamer as well. So I love that website. Do you visit that One Angry Gamer?
From time to time, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all on this stating what it's about, because they just want, literally, they want to know exactly what videos can be seen and can be monetized, and any violations of the littlest kind. They want all that to be known to people, to all creators. And I think that's a great idea, because that's literally pointing it out black and white what you can and cannot do on the platform. But YouTube, they don't want any of that, because again, like, obviously they won't monetize your channel. They say, oh yeah, whatever, just here, here's a link, go read that. And you're just sat there then thinking, well, is it this one? Is it that? What's wrong with the channel? Why am I like this? But they just don't care. I got a couple of emails from them, and they've literally just told me, request a manual review. And I'm like, this is not answering my question. Why am I getting demonetized every single video I'm putting up? And they keep coming back with the same bullshit answer, which is just request. So it's kind of like, right, okay. So I gotta be nicey. I gotta talk good about things, and I gotta promote what they want.
Yeah.
That's what it seems to be now. Like they want everyone to, on their opinion, say what they say, and that's it. So they can make more money.
I know Deep Humor has the same issue.
Yeah, he gets a lot of his videos demonetized straight away.
I remember seeing a tweet from him, and he was just like, "At this point, I'm just used to it," and it was like a demonetizing.
Yeah, he actually replied to me with one like that, I believe. He was like, because I said, "Oh, they've done it again." I was like, "Fucking, shake my head and all that." And he's like, "Oh, I'm used to this." Because I said I was doing a test. That was and he goes, "Let me know how you got on." Told him, he was like, "Yeah, I thought so." It's exactly how it is. It's wrong when you got to be like that. Just if you just want to make an extra couple of bucks.
Yeah.
It's such a pain in the ass.
And taking it a step further, the copyright system for YouTube in particular is awful. Like,
copyright is one of the worst things going.
For my Sammy Exposed video, that got a copyright strike, and apparently my channel wasn't monetized in the first place, but then after that, it couldn't be monetized for 3 months, and I had to go to some copyright strike school to lift it.
Oh, yeah, I done that.
Putting Sammy's face on a few Toei animation scenes. Like, nobody's losing any money or anything like that. I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
And yet here's this system. It flagged it because of an algorithm, and someone went through and probably just like mass clicked.
Yeah.
Copyright strike, copyright strike, copyright strike.
Yeah, we've gotten copyright strike, and I'm like, I don't have anything monetized. Like, why would you waste your why would you waste
why
your
do
time?
it like innit?
I got striked for Sarah McLachlan, and I'd do it again. Just saying.
Well, I had 2 copyright strikes from the same person, and what it was at the beginning of April. He was on Kickvic. He's not on any side now, and because he put out a tweet saying that him and his friend have got evidence that his friend was sexually touched by Vic. And I've done a video on it, put his photo on it from his Twitter. Again, Twitter to terms of service, it says anything on there can be used. I was like, Brill, this, that, and the other. Copyright strike. I was like, oh, fucking hell, here we go. So I was like, right, okay. So I put another video out saying I'm not going to get rid of it because this guy, because he put out a mass tweet. I think it was like 4 or 5 tweets. And it went from, we have a police report, to, no, it wasn't her who was touched, it was me, to, no, it was my friend, there's no police report, and it finally ended up with, no one got touched. And a lot of us jumped on it, say, Umbrella Guy, myself, Nick, because I asked Nick for help on it. I was like, right, this guy's copyrighted strike 2 of my videos now, and after, we were talking through email, me and this guy, and it was just carried on for about 4 weeks. And in the end, he was just like, I said, what do you want me to do so I can get rid of these strikes? And all he said was, delete the video. I was like, you could have told me that fucking 4 weeks ago, mate. And I would have done it, But he done it, and he only removed 1 copyright strike. And I was like, right, here we go. Went back, and he goes, yeah, you still used it, and people are talking about it. I was like, yes, so it's not my fault. He was, well, because of that, I'm not going to remove the strike. Yeah. I was like, right, okay, so I done the thing where you can go against it. And within a couple of days, he got rid of it because he didn't want to go to court or anything. Because I used his Twitter profile picture, that was it.
Yeah, I dodged a close one like that, actually, when I was reporting on the Dominique Sky thing at ConMeaCon. And I posted a picture that she was there just to prove that she was there with apparently a fan.
Yeah.
And then I got people in my Twitter DMs saying, hey, Pepper Monster, whatever, Peppers, whatever it is like trying to tell people to go flag your video. So I just went through the YouTube thing and glossed the guy's face real quick because I didn't want to put up with any of that.
Oh my gosh, totally out there. Paranoid conspiracy theory. Pepper Monster stole Ron Toy's chin.
Huh. Okay.
Makes
I
you
haven't
think.
actually seen a picture of them. Is it like really pointed or something? Like a man jaw? The man jaw that Ron doesn't have.
The Crimson
Dude, I'm
Shade.
telling you, he looks like
It's a thumb, innit? We're just a thumb with a beard.
he looks. I'm telling you, he looks like Beaker from the Muppets, dude.
He looks like Sid from Ice Age.
Yes.
He looks like,
Yeah, that's probably what he does to Monica at night as well. Like, me, 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 me. And she's like, yeah, just sit in the
oh,
corner.
that's so
You wanna get
gross.
the bed? Me, 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 me. Bed this time, me, 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 me.
You can watch the
No,
bull
for real,
take me.
She gives him the treat. Me, 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 me. Like, it's yeah,
I
Pepper's
just
the
got a
Crimson
vivid
Shade.
image then. Ugh.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting. And Ron Toy's Sid from Ice Age and Greg Doucette is a human herpy. Like that's what they look like.
Dude, I was really upset that I couldn't get the Ron Toye onto Sid from Ice Age very well.
That's okay.
That picture.
I couldn't do it either.
I really enjoyed the ET one I made though.
That one was terrifying. That's the thing.
Did you guys already talk about Monica's deposition? Because I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Is it Dan? A quick question about
Yeah,
that.
go for it, mate.
What did
Please
you
go.
think of it generally? Like your general outlook after watching it?
My general, I actually thought her one was better than Ron's.
Because you could answer.
Yeah, I think that's mostly because of it. And she was, like, yeah, we talked about this earlier regarding the nervousness you could see in them and all this kind of thing. And she actually seemed to have a few of her answers already prepared. And she was respectable to a certain degree. And, sometimes she'd say yes, sir, or, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And sometimes she would just straight away go, yeah, it's right by there. Yeah, I'm reading this. Or, yeah, so-and-so done this to me. There was no flow to the way she was doing it.
No authenticity.
Yeah,
What did
so
you
the
think
way...
of her story?
Which one?
The last telling in the deposition itself.
The two story?
The hotel room? Or...
Yeah, the hotel room story.
Yeah, I don't know, again, I don't know whether to believe it or not at this moment in time, mostly because her story sounds so similar to everyone else's. And a lot of people, again, I've looked at, I read a lot about bloody serial killers and all this kind of shit. And a lot of them say they don't do the same thing over and over again when they're committing a crime. And the way she said, oh, he grabbed my upper arms or whatever, he's done this to my hair. And it's almost like every single person has that exact same story. It's like he grabbed my upper arms, he grabbed my hair, and he said something in my ear, then he pushed me to the floor or to the bed or whatever. And I'm just thinking, everyone has said that. And with going over to Vic's deposition, when he said he was reading it and he started laughing, he's like, why would she come back for a second time if this happened the first time? It was so horrid. Which I think a lot of people probably picked up on and were like, actually, yeah. She said she had this horrible experience with Vic, but she still went back to his hotel room a second time.
Well,
it's that sort of thing.
I thought it was weird with the discrepancy of the dinner thing. Because it was...
the Broly dinner, that one?
What?
The Broly dinner.
Yeah, they went to dinner, hotel room, and then Stan came and they went to dinner.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I like second dinner personally. Like that's
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy that she would go back to his place.
Yeah,
like she doesn't say how she got there or why she's there, and then just the way she told it, the fake tears is obviously completely.
Yeah.
There weren't even tears.
There's nothing there, was there? It was just her going like this. I'm like, I don't know why. It's like, well, fucking hell, love, get some water, just spray it on your face or something. Say
you got plenty of water right there.
Just all of her micro, she's constantly looking away, looking down.
Yes, looking. It was just anywhere she wanted to look was apart from them.
No, she's fidgeting constantly, playing with papers.
Yep.
Like
that microaggression face she makes when Carrie asks, "Now, do you tell Ron everything?" And she just goes,
"Yes,
you bitch."
like oh, how fucking dare you answer?
Well, I figured out why she was drinking so much water is because she was doing so much mental gymnastics.
Yeah, she was literally.
She overexerted herself.
Oh, say the amount of time was because I don't think she realized it, but she was actually asked the question like 4 or 5 different times, and she kept answering them, and she just didn't click. And the way the question, it was just a little bit different. But again, it was mostly about what happened at the hotel room.
Yeah.
And each different thing, she would just change the question slightly, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well, blah 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 blah, oh this happened, or blah blah blah." And again, to say, is this the Ron turned up in a wife beater? Am I correct in saying that?
At least a t-shirt. Like a
Oh
white
my
t-shirt.
god, this is how the guy turns up to a deposition.
Yes, that's so funny.
I know. I wouldn't want to see what's under that shirt.
Yeah.
Rumor has it it's a certain Yahtzee symbol.
Wouldn't surprise me. You know what? That's one thing that pisses me off about Kick Vic. It's like, if you support Vic, you're automatically a Nazi. And I'm like,
Yep.
how do you get that from saying a guy, he's innocent until proven guilty? It's like,
That's just American politics right now. I don't know how it is over there, but
uh,
if you don't support the narrative, you're a phobe.
you're against it, like,
You're a Izzy.
uh,
You're a Yahtzee. Like, that's just how it is right now. Ever since 16, it's
that's
been really
that's
bad.
not good, man. That's bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that bad over here, not yet. Anyway, I could probably see that sort of thing happening in the next election. Okay, we got Boris, and we got Donald Trump's cousin or something. So it's like the way have you seen the photos of Donald Trump and Boris Johnson as Dr. Evil and Mini-Me?
No.
It's exactly like it. It looks like obviously Donald Trump's Dr. Evil. It's in that motorized cart they got, and in front the Mini-Me is Boris Johnson, and I just laugh every single time I see it. It cracks me up. And it's just like, holy shit! These are the people who's running the free world. It's like, wow, okay, Dr. Evil's here.
I would love to see that.
I'll find it and I'll post on Twitter and I'll tag you all in it.
Yes.
It was very interesting watching Carrie Christie. I forget her name, if that's her name. Deposing Monica. She would.
Yeah, she was
leave the
good, the one
topic.
she.
She would leave the topic and come back. And
Yeah.
Monica would forget the way she was telling the story, especially about like Stan. He came out with his.
Oh, you know what? I love Stan just for doing that. Because
I
literally,
really did enjoy how Carrie did that, though.
Yeah, no, she completely tricked Monica. Monica's obviously shooting from the hip. She didn't practice at all. She spoke before her lawyer could warn her
yes.
on a couple occasions. She's like,
Ron did
"Sorry."
that once, didn't he? And he kind of just like, oh, I better shut up.
Well, it was really, really interesting because it wasn't just the going back and forth. It was the way that she, when she's like, oh shoot, my paper, oh they're not organized, so here, let me go through and pull it out. And that was intentional to make her seem like she didn't know what she was doing, and then she follows it up with, oh wait, let's go back to this, and it was to make her seem incompetent in Monica's
And it
eyes.
worked,
her
100%.
She forgot where her story was going. Like, she would ask her later on the deposition, she'd be like, and couldn't Stan have come in at any minute? Which was kind of what Monica was saying before, but because she's asking her the question like that, she's like, oh, she's trying to trap me. She's like, I have no idea what Stan's plans were for that day.
Mhm.
But it sounded like you were trying to say something.
The whole thing was very poetic because prior to that, the Ron deposition, Casey Eric, is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, Casey Eric, the
So
Ron
Christy,
guy.
it's like behave yourself. Remember that?
Yeah.
So that everyone
when
thinks,
he told her, it was literally like scorning. It's like, you're here because supposedly your client had this kind of interaction with Vic, and now you're doing exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like,
Apparently
dude,
that
what the
was-
fuck
that
are you
was a
doing? You don't
power
say that
move.
to someone.
yeah, it's
That's a power move. Yeah.
Power move, 100%.
Power move, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
and then I think they were expecting to be deposed by Ty, and pulled the 180, and Christy showed up, and everyone's like, "Oh shit,"
Yeah.
Like,
You could see that as soon as she took over, Monica. What do I do?
yeah, it's like I did not plan for this. What? So,
Yeah.
Just like help, #help.
Hashtag help.
Police women, but not all women.
As acting host currently, it is my job to inform you all that we've passed an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think this might be a good way to end. I don't know if anybody has any.
Yeah, actually, I have a serious question.
I'm sure it's super serious. Let's hear it.
Jojo.
Really?
Jojo.
Nope. All right, guys.
Hold on, with RoboCop. That's all I heard then.
Nope.
RoboCop was dying.
Whoa. Serious question.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to ask this question. What is your favorite anime, and why is it JoJo's Bizarre Adventures?
Damn.
Well, I'll answer the first part. My favourite anime has always been The Guyver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the stuff my uncle gave to me when I was young. I'll always remember it. And then obviously the films came out in 91 and 93 or 92. And I was hooked on that shit. That's what got me into karate and kickboxing when I was young, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
A way better choice than JoJo's.
Do you even like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yes!
I'll just say that very tiny, little load.
How would you like to join my Discord server? It's a JoJo's Hate fan club.
Do it, add me.
Yeah.
All right, you got it.
Oh, well, no, so God, man, it's been great being on here with you. It's been great talking to you.
Yari.
No, I want to thank you again for putting up with us, putting up with the technical difficulties, being
I'll
so
figure
patient.
all that shit out so we can do it better next time.
Perfect.
No, for real,
I'll see if you want me next time.
No,
You
yeah,
could be like, I could get off now. And you could be like, oh, fuck that British guy.
No.
We would love to, if we can figure it out, we would love to have you on a live stream sometime. It doesn't have to be a Couch Crows podcast. We could always just talk about an issue. Anything you want to do if you ever want to collab.
Yeah, whatever, man. Say whatever you want. If you want to hit me up, say, do you want to come on? Let me know.
Yeah,
No, for real.
I will. I will be in your DMs.
It was
No joke. I figured we had completely scorned you, and you were just never gonna talk about it.
No, it was a pleasure to have you on. I had a good time talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been great.
Yeah.
Again, as I was saying, this is my first time I've done something like this, and I was like, oh fucking hell, how's it gonna go? Are they gonna get my sense of humor? Obviously, being from the UK, a lot of our humor is different. So, but it's been great. It's been a really good. 3 hours for us, really.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to say
3 hours. Yeah, it's been great. Great 3 hours.
Quite some time. I wanted to get into what you want to do with the channel, but we'll save that for some other time with no technical difficulty.
Definitely.
But we got a game sometime. Broly, he's gonna try out Dauntless. He's gonna join.
Right on.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it after all. So when I get off the stream, I'll sort this aircon in this room because it's bloody boiling, and I'll get off straight on that.
I will. I'll start the outro. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of the Couch Crows. I'm Origami, your temporary host. You can find me on Twitter, Aura_Gami. Links to channel there. Take it away, BP.
I'm Broly Power Maximum. You can find me on YouTube at the same or on Twitter, BPM_Broly. And yes, I remembered my Twitter handle.
Good job. ComicCrowe.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to another episode with us. I had a lot of fun listening in this time, and I thought ComeGeekSome was an excellent guest to have. And it was great to do one of these with my little brother.
Yep. Dean.
Perfect. Yeah. So obviously, if you're watching this, you already know the YouTube channel. And you can find me on Twitter, DA_talks. Once again, that's DA, like District Attorney _talks. And yeah, it's been really great. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Big shout out to Dean for setting it up. Big shout out to Deep Humor for being himself, and big shout out to our special guest. Any last words, special guest?
No, again, it's been a blast. That's all I gotta say. It's just been great. You've been a great bunch of guys to have a little chat with. It's been great.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Ta-ra, guys.